What's up, everyone? In this video, we'll be discussing the hidden costs of living in the Kansas City Northland area. And we all know the Northland is an amazing place to live, but there are some sneaky expenses that can take you by surprise if you're not prepared for. We're going to be discussing property taxes, the special tax districts, the commuting costs, and then much, much more. If this is your first time to my channel, let me introduce myself. I am Big Mike, and I'm a local Kansas City real estate agent specializing here in the Kansas City Northland area. And if you're thinking of making a move to the Northland and you need a rock star agent to help you, I'm your guy. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in. First on this list is property taxes and the price of great schools and amenities. Now, when I talk about property taxes, it may be alarming to some of you guys. So, the better the school districts here in like Clay County or Platte County, the more the property tax will be. Now, for example, homes in Clay County are actually slightly above on the tax level than Platte County, whereas the average in Clay County is about 1.5% and the average in Platte County is about 1.3%. If you're talking about a $500,000 house, that tends to add up for percentage wise. Now, why it's a hidden cost though, a lot of buyers don't realize this until they're already locked into their mortgage. So while you may be thinking you're getting a great deal in a certain area, make sure you factor in those costs of taxes, and just so you're better prepared. So get an estimate of your property tax first before you fall in love with the house. And ask about the school district and the amenities, because trust me, those are going to be driving up your tax bill and they're not getting cheaper. Number 2 on this list is special tax districts. And you're basically going to be paying for local improvements. Now, these special tax districts are the community improvement districts, CIDs, or transportation development districts, TDDs. Basically, they fund things like new roads, utilities, and even fancy street lights that you may not be even known that's going to be happening. You'll find these in Shoal Creek Valley or maybe some newer developments going in. The extra tax usually gets tacked onto your property taxes, and you could be looking at an additional 0.25% to an extra 1% of your home's value. Now, it's a hidden cost because you don't even know that you're going to be paying for it most of the time until at the closing table or whenever you get your first tax bill. And then you got an extra $1,000 per year that you're going to be paying on taxes. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind. So before you buy, ask up front if the home is in a special tax district, and then knowing this can really save you thousands of dollars if you happen to avoid a certain home over another one. Next on this list is HOA fees, and they may be a little bit more than you bargained for. So I don't like talking about HOA fees. I really don't. But if you are moving into a community like Thousand Oaks, Staley Farms, Woodneath Farms, or if you want the top neighborhood in the area in the national, you're probably going to have HOA fees. Not probably, you're going to have HOA fees. And these fees cover things like community upkeep, landscaping, shared amenities, and they don't always come cheap. So in the Northland, HOA fees can range anywhere from $200 to $1,500 a year. And depending on where you live, for example, in luxury neighborhoods like the National, if you're looking for higher end of that range, especially if they got golf courses or private pools, expect that number to be significantly more than $1,500 a year. Now, a lot of buyers think HOA fees are no big deal until they realize how much they can add up. There's certain villas that you can be a part of that are $150 a month, and that just adds up to about $2,000 a year. Now, those areas, they come with upkeep, whereas some of these luxury style neighborhoods, they don't even come with upkeep. So definitely keep that in mind. So before you buy, ask for a copy of the HOA budget and the fee structure. Check if there's any major repairs or improvements coming up, and you don't want to be hit with a surprise fee. Definitely know what your HOA requires too. I know there's certain HOA homes that you can't do certain things to your houses, HOA laws that you can't do certain things to your houses, maybe a specific color. So definitely, if you don't love the color of your house, find out what colors are before you purchased. And it's better to have the knowledge and not need it than to need it and not have it. So just definitely do your research before you purchase any house. So some of the commuting costs up here that you may not even think about. So you do have longer commutes if you're heading to downtown every single day. So if you're moving to the Northland from downtown or South Kansas City, one thing that might surprise you is the commuting costs. Yes, you're living in a quiet suburban paradise area, but depending on where you work, you could be driving a lot more. So there's fuel, there's maintenance, there's time. Even though infrastructure has improved up here from the Northland to going downtown with the I-29 widening project, the Buck O'Neill Bridge, you're still looking at increased fuel costs, wear and tear on your car, and let's not forget about time. So a 20-minute commute can easily turn into a 35-minute commute during rush hour, especially if you're heading downtown and then whenever you're heading out of downtown on the north side, going back north. So buyers often overlook the extra cost of gas, the vehicle maintenance, and then just for the overall affordability of a house. So you may be able to find a screaming deal an hour north of Kansas City, but if you drive every single day to downtown, that does add up and you'll get hit with it eventually. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be a year from now, but you'll soon understand why that hour of commute really does add up in the long run. So if commuting is a factor for you, consider the true cost of time and gas when calculating your monthly budget. Living further out might mean more house for your money, but it'll also mean more expenses in the long run. So just kind of keep that in mind. Next on this list is utility costs. So what to expect in the Northland. Now, when we're speaking about utility costs, we're talking about heating, cooling, bills, water bills, gas, and they may be a little bit higher than what you're accustomed to. In some areas, especially like Smithville or Platte City, you might even be dealing with some private wells or some septic system maintenance that is a little bit different. So it is higher maintenance costs on those things. Don't forget about water treatment and then septic pumping. These aren't things you deal with in the city. So make sure to be asking about the age of the systems and any ongoing maintenance costs going on from what the sellers have that you'll be buying into. You'll want to factor those into your budget, especially if you're used to city utilities. So those are the hidden costs you need to watch out for when moving to Kansas City Northland, from property taxes to special tax districts to community costs to HOA fees to utility costs. And then knowing these up front will save you so much money. And as always, I'm Big Mike. I'm a local Kansas City real estate agent specializing here in the Kansas City Northland area. So if you're thinking about making a move to here or around here, feel free to reach out to me night or day. Send me a text. I'd love to help you and your family and see what you got going on. So reach out to me after everything right here. I hopefully you got some amazing value. And until next time, Big Mike is out.